Yo, what is good, everyone? Welcome back to the first regular-ish episode that we have had in a while here on the channel. I am Jeffrey Kirby, and as always, each and every week, we are joined by Jarryd. Jarryd, how in the hell are you?
It's been a while. Feeling good. Exhausted. I just can't wait for Friday.
Yeah, well, to me, it don't matter. Fridays don't mean anything to me because, when you work I work 6 jobs. I don't get no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay. All right now.
Well, you work 2 jobs. So, yeah, that tends to not happen. Fridays don't mean shit. But like we mentioned, this is the first regular episode that we've had in a while. Obviously, a few weeks ago, we had the live episode with Joe and JT from Draft Nation and Draft 412, which, by the way, I want to say, last week, y'all know all this already. I was a part of the Draft Nation NFL Draft Show. And that was honestly an incredible time. That was an incredible experience to be able to meet former Hall of Famer Kellen Winslow Sr., to meet former 4-time Super Bowl champion John Kolb, to meet Charlie Batch, which we all know, former backup quarterback for the Steelers. That was pretty cool in itself to be able to do that and to be a part of being in front of like 1,000 Steeler fans and fans around the NFL. That was an experience of a lifetime. And I do want to again say thank you to Draft Nation, Joe and JT for that opportunity. And sounds like I got invited for next year. So it looks like I'll be back next year.
Nice. Listen, I'm glad you had a good time though.
Well, Jarryd, on the other hand, was not fully paying attention to that game or to that draft because he was watching the Magic smack on the Cavs that night.
And then
Game 4.
Yep. No, Game 3 was Thursday.
Well, you guys smacked us both games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was watching. They started after a halftime where I think it was, the Magic were up by a little bit, and then they just kept it going.
Luckily, I didn't have to watch, so
we'll see. 7-game series, it's definitely gonna happen.
Right now, it's 3-2.
3-2,
yeah. So all I gotta say is,
yesterday was like not yesterday. Was it yesterday? No, it was Monday. It was a great actual game of.
No, it was Tuesday. I don't know. Lose track of days.
Anyways, but still a great series. Great Game 5, basically.
Which, by the way, I know we got a lot to talk about tonight. I think there's one thing though that me and Jarryd can both vent out. Now we are opposite sides, obviously. He's Magic, I'm Cavs here. The one thing that I can say is the lack of TV coverage that this series has gotten has been such BS because this has been a hell of a series.
It's a young team versus a well coach veterans. You got Spida, Mitchell.
Well coached. I don't know about that. Jamie Bickerstaff can get the hell out of here for all I care.
Yeah, well, I'm not. I know. I've been watching some YouTube videos of the Cleveland fan show on YouTube a little bit. They were talking about it. Yeah, they're up and down with the team. I just feel it. I was like, Jarryd Allen's your MVP of the series. If you win this series, they if you win this series, it's Jarryd Allen. And then Evan Mobley Game 5 was the biggest. It was a great game. Paulo went almost 40. It was we're still a young team. We're still a couple pieces away though.
So by the way, before we continue on here, fuck Mo Wagner. By the way, thank you.
Everyone hates Michigan. By the way, I know him and Franz both Michigan.
So that double fuck you to them. All right, let's talk about this NFL draft here because I kind of want to do a quick breakdown of just the overall what's gone on, like in the first round of night 1 of the NFL draft, and then we'll get into the Steelers draft and what they did, and then there was some breaking news that we'd gotten earlier today that we were anticipating, and so we got news,
surprising in my opinion.
Yeah, it was a little surprising. So let's talk about the NFL draft. So obviously, we all knew what was going to happen, and then the inevitable happened with Caleb Williams going number 1. I mean, that was a no-brainer. That was going to happen, and then
1, 2. It basically was, all written down. I guess 5 was the starting. I guess.
So, although number 2 and 3 were interesting because
Yeah.
we did. I mean, you knew it was going to be either Daniels or May. You just didn't know who. And as we'd gotten closer and closer to the draft, you're thinking, okay, maybe it actually is going to be Jane Daniels, and that's exactly what happened. And I think part of it was because they wanted the athletic quarterback that they did, or that they wanted to have with RG3. They get that again. So
we'll see how that works out with them.
And then Drake May obviously going to number 3. I just felt like that was just a match made in heaven. That goes back to February or January when I started saying that.
Yep.
Marvin Harrison going number 4, not a shocker at all. And then number 5, Joe Walt going to the Chargers. That was a little bit interesting, but I think it was, you knew that if they weren't going to go with a receiver, they were going to go with an offensive tackle.
Yep.
And to go with the best offensive tackle, in my opinion, in this class.
Yep.
I mean, and it's Jim Harbaugh, you know that he values trenches. That's not.
No, for sure.
The number 6, Malik Neighbors.
Again,
not a shocker.
Expected.
Very expected.
7, though. I didn't think he was going to go that high.
You know what, though? The more that you thought about it, the more that you thought about it, and I mentioned this if you were there on last Thursday, I had actually mentioned this because me and Hunter, who you guys know, me and him got to really talking about this earlier in that day. Because J.C. Latham, as much as y'all know, I wasn't a fan of him. However, you knew that most of the NFL fell pretty high on him.
Yep.
And he was the consensus number 1 right tackle in this class. So if you wanted to go after a right tackle, which, by the way, the Tennessee Titans and the New Orleans Saints were in a position where you could go with either side at tackle.
Yep.
You were good. And they went with, because the number 1 left tackle was gone, so they go and get the number 1 right tackle. I mean, at the end of the day, can I blame them? No. Am I mad at them for that? No.
I wasn't expecting him to go that high. I didn't know it was 7, but.
And then number 8.
Oh, the draft that shocked the world.
Oh, buddy!
I remember this moment. I wasn't in the car. We were. It was the fourth quarter, watching it. I was like, it's like, we're all like Dallas Turner. Dallas Turner's the pick here. I'm sure you were thinking the same way. And then, my friend and I are looking at it and we look at each other, and it was like Michael Penix.
So I found out a little early because I was on stage and I had gotten a FaceTime from Hunter, and I'm like, and Hunter's not the kind of guy to try and do something to sabotage. So it was like I knew when he was FaceTiming me, something was up. And I get a chance. I look down. He has a shock on his face, and I raise my eyebrow, and he just whispers off Michael Penix Jr. I had to try my hardest to not do a what the fuck moment, and so what I did was I kind of hit I hit everyone on the crowd with let's just say this may not be what you expected. And boom, that happens, and we're like, oh, what?
Yep. That was very, very shocking. I feel bad for Falcons fans. I don't understand the reasoning behind this pick. At number, you could have got him in later, honestly. I feel like. I don't know. Maybe not. But they definitely needed defense really bad. You paid Kirk Cousins $180 million. And
with all the dead cap that you have to pay it. It's not like one of those situations where it's like, okay, we're in reality, it could be like a 2-year contract. No, you have to pay him that full 4 years.
Yep. And wow. I know Michael Penix is a little bit older, so by the end of those 4 years, what would it be? 20? I don't know what they said, 26,
27, 28.
28. Wow. And just to start, we'll see what happens. It's just a surprising pick.
Yeah, I was like, oh boy. But then you get back to number 9 with Chicago, Rome Odunze. Now, is this pick shocking? Absolutely not.
No.
I had personally thought, and there were some people that had agreed with this, that if you were Chicago, like, yes, do you want to give Caleb Williams all the weapons of the world? Absolutely. And do I blame them for that? Absolutely not.
No.
I had personally thought, why not go after a pass rusher? Because at that time, not a defensive player has been taken.
No.
So why not get yourself a pass rusher?
Mm-hmm.
You had the pick of the litter. Did you want a Jarryd Verse? Did you want a Dallas Turner? Did you want a Laiatu Latu? You could have went with anyone on that front line to get after the quarterback. But at the end of the day, I'm not mad at. I mean, to give your rookie quarterback
a lot of weapons.
DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Roma Dunze.
Wow.
Gotta be mad at him? No, not really.
Yeah.
Just gotta hope you can protect him.
Yeah, I got that one right, though. I'll tell you that much.
Number 10. So we had the first trade of the night, which the Jets and Vikings swap one spot. And the Vikings get J.J. McCarthy, which...
No shock.
By the way, if you guys have been watching this, I am convinced I was one of the first people to say that the Minnesota Vikings and J.J. McCarthy were a match made in heaven.
Yeah, and you should be a reporter now.
Thank you. But yeah, that was just a match made in heaven. You knew that the and the fact that Minnesota only had to trade up one spot, and people say, well, if you're trading up one spot, why are you trading up? Because you got to protect
the other team.
You got to protect from Denver. You got to protect from Las Vegas. You have to protect from that, because if you don't, who's to say that one of them teams don't trade
up? Yep.
So you got to do what you got to do. Trade up one. Trade up one spot, and you get the quarterback of your future. And Minnesota, I think that's such a good pick.
Good for them. Very happy for them.
And at number 11, the New York Jets, they go after Olu Fashanu here, and
the correct pick.
They invest in their offensive line.
About damn time.
And instead of they actually have now one fossil and one. And you know what, though? This is a good situation, because if you're Olu, you're more than likely not going to start right away because you have Tyron Smith. But Tyron Smith is not. He's going to be a good guy to learn from, because the dude had been great in the NFL for a long period of time. So you get to learn from him. So, hey, at the end, that's a good situation for Olu.
Mm-hmm. Now the 12th pick that I predicted. It's crazy, you know. I know something. It's crazy, you know. I know things. I was like, this is when we got to the game with Zoe sitting in the car. I was like, I told my friend here, watch him pick Bo Nix right here, just so I could laugh. And that happened. I just laughed in the car because I knew they were going to run with Jarrett Stidham and Zach Wilson
and Ben DiNucci.
Yeah, no way. So they're going to take their chance on Bo Nix. Hopefully he pans out.
You better hope.
Because 6 quarterbacks in the top 12. I did not expect that to happen.
Yeah. And you know what, though? What did I tell Steeler fans? What had you and I been saying, though, for a while?
It's good for us.
That was the dream scenario.
Mm-hmm.
The dream scenario had happened. Because 6 quarterbacks plus Marvin Harrison Jr. plus Joe Walt. There's almost half the picks right there in just almost half the picks right there, and players that you already knew you weren't going after or weren't going to be able to get, so you had already accommodated for that. And so that worked out phenomenal. And then you get to the Las Vegas Raiders and Brock Bowers, which I think people were shitting on that a little bit.
I was a little shocked at first, but then I came down the realization, 2 tight end sets. I think probably been using that a lot with Michael Mayer in them, and you still got Devontae Adams over there. It wasn't a bad pick. I didn't think they were going to do that. I thought defense.
Here's also, could they have won defense? Absolutely. But here's why I think I'm okay with the pick. We're a week out. Look at who else is in that division, first and foremost. That Travis Kelce, that's dating that Swifty Taylor girl.
Yeah. Don't know who that is. Who's that?
She he made her famous, by the way.
No,
There you go.
All right. Yeah, definitely. I agree.
But no, but you look at who's in that division. You have Travis Kelce in that division, where we all know he's a tight end, but he moves like a receiver, and that's what Brock Bowers is. He's a receiver in a tight end body, and he's someone that is going to create mismatches. And like you mentioned, they brought in Michael Mayer last year, so you have the two tight end set thing going on. Now, with the quarterback situation, obviously they were screwed.
Yep. Definitely.
So you weren't going to be able to get anyone else. But yeah, overall, I wasn't mad at this pick.
Nope. Shocked,
and then,
but it was understanding.
Then finally, the 14th pick. We still have all offense here with Tylese Fuaga, the offensive tackle from Oregon State, which... like I mentioned with Tennessee, those two were the two teams that you can guarantee we're going to go tackle. 1,000,000%, just guarantee, write it in stone. They were going tackle, and that's exactly what they did. And they got the best, I think, at that time, right tackle. And hey, they needed both. I think the Fuaga was the best on the board at that time. Why not? So Saints fans are happy about that pick.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, finally, with the 15th pick, we finally get defense.
Yeah.
Defense. Because it doesn't exist. It's today's NFL.
No, don't.
Or really in sports at all. But yeah, finally we get defense here. And it wasn't Dallas Turner. It wasn't Jarryd Verse. It was Laiatu Latu, which, by the way, breaking news, if it wasn't for the medicals, he would have probably been the consensus number one pass rusher. He is a natural pass rusher. And the Colts needed defense, and they get that. And they get a pass rusher, which, by the way, it was funny because they had the most sacks in franchise history last year, but it didn't feel like it.
No. And
it didn't feel like that their pass rush was great, and they needed to add to that. That's exactly what they did. Mm-hmm. Here's my only concern with Laiatu Latu is he has the neck injury. Mm-hmm. We just had someone somewhat recently who got drafted who had a neck injury coming out of college, who just recently retired, Leighton Vander Esch. Remember that? Yep. He had that neck injury. He had a stinger and got medically cleared, and now he is medically retired from the NFL because he got hurt again. So that's the one thing that you have to be concerned about if you're the Colts, is you hope that he can make it through a second contract. Remember when Miles Jack fell all the way out of the first round because there were teams that were concerned about his knee.
Yeah.
People didn't know if he would be able to make it make it to a second contract, and he fell all the way out. So those medical concerns can be real, but if you hold up, they got a good one. And then you get to Seattle at number 16, Byron Murphy.
It's a great pick.
I think that was another one of those. It wasn't written in stone, but
it was a no-brainer.
You were almost tackle. They needed a defensive tackle, and that's exactly what they got. Number 17, the Minnesota Vikings, they then trade up from 23 to go up to number 17 to get Dallas Turner, which, by the way, if you're Minnesota, you have the extra picks. Yep. You see an edge rusher that you thought there was not a chance in hell was going to be there. He's there. I'm not mad at them at all. They did exactly what I thought Chicago should have done. You get your quarterback of your future, and you get a premier pass rusher. I love those two picks for Minnesota. Absolutely love it.
It makes them a lot better. They needed a pass rusher, and they got the quarterback of the future. Now you just hope it pans out.
Yep. And then number 18, it's crazy to think that the 18th pick was the first AFC North draft pick.
Yeah, it's a long time.
And yeah, that is a long time. And they go after Amarius Mims, which,
Darn.
I mean, you said what?
I wanted him, but it was okay.
you know what? Hey, he's a good pick, and
Yes.
it was going to be either an offensive tackle or it was going to be a defensive tackle. I thought it was going to be one of the two. When we were on stage, there were talks about would they go with the Brian Thomas Jr. And I said I didn't think so. I thought that defensive tackle would have been number one, but with Byron Murphy being gone, and clearly we saw how teams value Johnny Newton because he fell all the way out of the first round. So we knew how teams valued him. So at the end of the day, they're like, all right, well, we could get a first round tackle here in Emarius Mims. Now, is he a little raw? Yes, but we've always been saying that.
Yep.
And I don't think he's not going to have to start right away either. Yep. So, but they're investing into their offensive line. That's exactly what they need to do. And you can't hate on the pick.
No, you cannot.
Especially because we wanted him.
Yep.
A good amount of us wanted him, so I can't get mad at a team that's in a similar situation,
Yep, I can't get mad at it.
And the number 19, the Los Angeles Rams, they get Jarryd Verse, which the first round pick since 2016.
Rams fan must be ecstatic. That's all.
So remember back when we had Jack Ellenbogen, we had him on the show. He was very excited about this pick, and obviously they needed a pass rusher badly. They need someone to help get after the quarterback, especially with them losing Aaron Donald.
Yep,
they get that. What a pick!
They get some of that, but hopefully with the group of their defensive front seven, you can't get one person to replace Aaron Donald, of course, but. It's a good pick for the Rams, though.
And then
the 20th pick. I knew it was a tackle. I think I knew who it was, but I just couldn't remember the name when we were at the pick at the time.
Troy Fautanu. And I had been saying his name wrong the whole time. I was saying Troy Fautanu, and it's Fautanu. And listen, it's weird. So ESPN labeled him as a guard.
Yep.
But he's going to be a tackle.
He's going to be the future left tackle in my eyes. We'll see.
So, when it came to Troy Fautanu, when you heard Omar Khan, you hear Mike Tomlin saying that they had a chance to trade down, but when Fautanu was there, they were not trading down. That was their guy. They got on the phone immediately.
Oh, that's great.
They love this guy. And listen, I am very happy about this pick. I wanted fatties. And coming from a fellow fatty, we needed more fatties on this team. And thank you to the God above. Thank you to the football gods. Thank you to Mr. Clean himself, Omar Khan, because he made that happen. We got Troy Fautanu. And we got Zach Frazier. When I tell you, so I was at work on Friday, and I was watching the draft. The Steelers pick was in. I walk into the walk-in. My manager walks in. She goes, "What the hell are you doing?" Said the Steelers are about to pick, and if they pick the guy that I want them to, I'm going to let out an emphatic scream. And she goes, "Well, then go into the deep freezer." Okay. Yeah, I go to the deep freezer. I hear Zach Frazier. I let out let's effing go. Oh. And someone walked in and they heard that through 2 layers of freezers. That's how happy I was with what Omar Khan did in this draft. So we're going to talk about all of that here after we get done. Talk about the first round here. And we'll talk more about the Fautanu pick. Number 21, the Miami Dolphins. I think this was an interesting pick with them going with Chop Robinson because I don't think it was a huge need. However, remember they had lost Jalen Phillips, they had lost Bradley Chubb, and Andrew Van Ginkel left in free agency. So was it their number 1 need? Probably not, but they got someone to I guess
they got an extra body. An extra body, and that's how I see it. He probably be good, but like I said, the injuries are probably what it was. They were badly injured of their defensive line.
Yeah, they had lost their top 3 guys to injuries. Yeah. And then here's where a shocker happened, not because of the position or anything like that, the player, because none of us expected Quinion Mitchell to be there at 22. No one expected the Philadelphia Eagles to be able to have a opportunity to have a choice of Quinion Mitchell or Terrion Arnold. Mm-hmm. That was a shocker.
The first 2 picks for the Eagles were great picks. I know we're not talking about the Eagles, but they double dipping corner. They took Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean's probably going to play that safety, maybe / corner. I don't know where you're going to put him. Then you got Quinion Mitchell on the wow. It's great 2 picks by them. So
shout out to Pennsylvania in the NFL draft, I guess.
They know what they're doing.
But yeah, Quinion, and here's what was funny. So while we were there was an Eagles fan that was sitting there. Mm-hmm. And I had mentioned Quinion Mitchell. He got upset. He did not want Quinion Mitchell at all. And he asked me, he goes, "Why should we take Quinion Mitchell?" I'm like, because dude is absolutely amazing. And I think his main reason was because he went to Toledo when you could get someone from Alabama. And I'm like, yes, I get that. I understand that. I'm like, dude, Quinion Mitchell is that dude. He is that dude.
Yeah.
And he got very upset when the pick ended up being Quinion Mitchell. So hopefully to that guy, he is.
Can't make everyone happy.
Yeah. And then number 23, so this was the Jacksonville Jaguars pick here, and they ended up getting Brian Thomas, which, this is more of your.
This is it was a little surprising. Not really, I guess, because they didn't really have anyone else. Oh no, they have Christian Kirk and Gabe Davis. I guess another weapon, but I feel like they could have taken Terrion Arnold if they wanted to. I don't know. I have to go back to the Jags fan and ask him. I forgot to talk about it, but he was just just very surprising. I didn't think we were going to go receiver personally.
You get to talk to 10% of their fan base.
Yeah.
Because they only have like 10 fans.
Okay.
I wonder if you're a Jags fan, if he had $1 for every time he heard something like that, how rich he'd be.
Probably he'd be very rich. But the 24th pick, that's what I'm happy about. Detroit made the right decision.
Detroit.
They traded up, if I'm not mistaken. Correct.
This trade worked out for both sides because we knew that they needed a corner badly.
Yep.
They see that someone who we anticipated going in the top 12 to 14 picks being there at 24, they pounced on it. And you can't be happier for Detroit, especially with the draft being in Detroit to get a player like that. And it worked out because who did you traded with Dallas? Who did Dallas get? Tyler Guyton.
Yep.
Which I thought that was one of those set in stone picks.
Yep. No, definitely.
So that I think as of right now is a win-win trade. Although let's not forget the last time the Lions drafted a corner that was very highly regarded.
Yeah, definitely.
It was Jeff Okudah, and
yeah, I know.
Ended up not being.
What school did he come from?
So let's talk about Green Bay.
I know what school he went to.
Let's talk about Green Bay with Jordan Morgan here going to Green Bay, offensive tackle from Arizona. And listen, they were another one of those teams that needed a tackle, and
I feel like a lot of their fans were not happy with that pick.
Which is weird, though, because they needed a little bit of offensive line. Now Jordan Morgan is one of those guys that could possibly end up kicking inside. And so a
lot of Cooper DeJean fans wanted there at that pick.
Well, that didn't happen.
I don't know if you saw the TV screen that they showed that one Packer fan, and the Detroit Lions fan was just laughing at him and pointing at him when Jordan Morgan got picked. He put his head down, looking shamed.
Then you get to pick number 26, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They get Graham Barton, which, you know what? Hey, that was a pick that was a damn near a really good possibility for them, and they got it because remember their center Ryan Jensen had recently retired, so they needed someone to replace him. That's exactly what they got, and great pickup for Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm. Definitely agreed.
Then you get to Arizona, pick number 27. They get Darius Robinson, the edge rusher from Missouri. And hey, listen, they got themselves the best wide receiver in this class. They get themselves a pass rusher.
Yep.
They needed someone to get after the quarterback.
No issues here.
No issues whatsoever with that pick.
No issues.
Oh, and then
that's crazy.
Do teams ever learn?
The Bills never learn.
Apparently not. So you trade with Kansas City to get the quarterback that whoops your ass every year in the playoffs.
And you let them get the receiver.
So what? No. So you trade with them again so they can get the fast receiver that what?
I don't know what the Bills were doing. I know the Bills fan from work was not very happy when they traded down. And I was like, what are we doing? It was his words, but in very explicit terms, if you can get what
and listen, was Xavier Worthy a first-round talent? Probably. I mean, maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
But if there was one team that could make that possibly work, was going to be Kansas City. You give Patrick Mahomes that kind of speed. You give Andy Reid that kind of speed. Good God. We may just be crowning him again.
Yep.
Actually, no, because Russell Wilson's about to tear that ass up.
I hope so. Well, we're not there yet. I want to talk to you. Wait till we get there.
All right. Then we talked a little bit about Tyler Guyton already in Dallas. Number 30, the Baltimore Ravens.
A great pick. As much as I hate to say it, it's a great pick.
Well, it seems like we say that almost every year around this time where it's Baltimore once again, they get a great pick. And I think he's going to Nate Wiggins fits the AFC North attitude.
Oh, yeah, we'll be seeing him a lot.
Him on opposite sides of Marlon Humphrey.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, Marlon Humphrey, he tweeted out, he actually kind of made a compliment to the Steelers today, which you guys haven't seen. So the Steelers declined the fifth-year option on Najee Harris, which we'll talk about that a little bit more in a little bit. Even Marlon Humphrey was a little surprised by it.
Yeah,
so,
we'll talk about that in a second.
And then number 31, the San Francisco 49ers, they actually go after someone that not a lot of people saw going in the first round in Ricky Pearsall, the wide receiver from Florida, which, hey, San Francisco, they get a wide receiver, and that sparked up all the rumors once again.
I was the same one. It's like, why are they getting the receiver, which they got Brandon Ayuk for now, Deebo Samuel, and you got George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey. It's just interesting. I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of trade rumors circling around. I don't know what's cooking. The Twitter in the past couple days here saying that Bryant McFadden started it all again, saying a significant player was coming to the Steelers here shortly, and it broke hell loose on the internet. No one could handle it. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, are we gonna? No, everyone's like, oh, it's gonna be Patrick Peterson again. Oh no, coming back or blah 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 blah. I'm like, let's just let Omar cook. There's a lot of. It's a different time for the Steelers. It's a different time.
And then with the 32nd pick, the Carolina Panthers, they trade up into the first round to get Xavier Legette, which Xavier Legette had to be so happy because that's a team he really wanted to go to, and that's exactly where he got to go.
He was very happy. I watched his press conference. Very happy.
Very happy. All right, let's kind of break down the Steelers draft pick because it seems like for the second year in a row, the big buzz around the NFL is that the Steelers won the NFL draft. Now, does that mean anything? No. Right now, on May 2nd, no, it means nothing. No. But it feels nice to know that, hey, we have a chance to hit or to to possibly hit on another draft. Which, by the way, if you had another draft like you had last year, where you had Broderick Jones be able to come in day one, or who was able to contribute, Joey Porter Jr. was able to contribute heavily. You ended up getting Keanu Benton. Okay. He ended up contributing very heavily. Darnell Washington, they need to learn how to use him a little bit better. But then Nate Herbig,
yeah,
and or Nick Herbig, Nick Herbig. They got him. He was a contributor, and then we'll see what happens with Corey Trice. We'll see what happens. But the Steelers, like we mentioned, they got Troy Fautanu, the tackle from Washington. Now, it's funny that there were rumors about him possibly having a knee issue, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It makes you – I'm starting to wonder if the Steelers threw that out there just because, hey, apparently Seattle completely took him off their board. And that was a truly in play, I think, for them. But listen, they got themselves their tackle. You have 2 tackles, 2 young good tackles.
Yep.
Get Dan Moore the fuck on out of here.
Well, let's slow it down a bit.
You know what though?
You know what's gonna happen.
And you know what though? I said this today in a group chat, and that's where I was gonna go with that next, because I mentioned this exactly. In fact, let me see if I can find this message from earlier.
Because you know what happened last year. You know what will happen again.
Oh no, and that's why I'm gonna mention here. Let me see if I can find this message from earlier, because I got crucified for this take. So I had mentioned earlier in the day. I gotta find this.
Basically, what Kirby's looking for, if you guys are not, going to be surprised or not. Don't be surprised if Dan Moore starts early in the first year, first couple games of the season, to get, Troy Fautanu some of that game experience, or what, he might come in, maybe, I don't know when he'll come in. They usually takes a couple games, and then they put Broderick Jones out there to replace him. If Dan Moore Dan Moore's on a very short leash, let's just say.
So
very
here
short.
it is. So on Monday, so Adam Crowley said Steelers insider Mark Caballi thinks that Troy Fautanu and Zach Frazier will be day one starters. Someone put in this group chat saying, well, no shit, Mark. I said, but can you say no shit, though? They didn't start Broderick day one, and he could have made an immediate impact. Frazier, I think, is, but we know how Mike Tomlin is. He'll let Dan Moore start. Then I got crucified. Well, they 77 should have started week 1 last year. No say you trade up to grab a tackle to not start him day one. I said I agree with should have, but he didn't. I'll assume it'll start out as Dan Moore's left tackle 1, and we'll wait. I hope I am wrong, but as that is my guess as of now. Yep. So then today comes out with Dan Moore, and they're saying he's going to start out as left tackle, the starting left tackle. And I'm like, listen, what did I tell you guys?
Yep.
Because we know how this was going to go. You knew how that was going to go. They
did it last year, and they might do it again this year. So that's just what I'm going based off what we saw from last year. And would I be mad about it? Yeah. But, I just don't,
But yeah,
we'll see what happens.
I was very happy with the fact that, because right now what I will assume is that Fautanu will be the left tackle and they keep Broderick Jones at right tackle.
Yep. That's
now, is there a chance that they switch it? Maybe, but I think that there's a better shot of Fautanu being left and Broderick Jones being the right tackle. I think that's the case right now. That's where I would guess that goes. But I was very happy to see them go after the tackle, because
that was the right pick.
With us being, having a cheap quarterbacks right now,
yep.
You are investing heavily into getting your offensive line younger.
Yep.
You've drafted offensive line the last 2 years. You went out and got Sam Allo in free agency last year. Yep. James Daniels is on his last year of his deal. We'll see what happens with him. Now, we'll get to possibly his replacement later on down the road. Then you get Zach Frazier to make your week 1 starter. 3 years ago, this offensive line looks so much different. 3 years ago, your starting offensive line was Dan Moore. It was Dan Moore, Kevin Dotson, Kendrick in 2021. Kendrick Green. Who was the right guard? Was that Daniels still? I think that was 22. That was his first year. I forget. Oh, it was Trey Turner.
Was it Trey Turner?
Trey Turner and Chooks.
Oh God! Wow, Jesus Christ! Wow, 3 years. 3 years later, it looks a lot better.
And a lot of that has to do with also Andy Weidel coming in. We saw what he did with Philadelphia and that offensive line. They invested heavily, and that has worked out phenomenal for them. And that's exactly what we're doing here now. Yep. And I am very happy for it. I am ecstatic for it. I
hope it continues to grow. Hopefully, develop and become, a unit.
And then with the 51st pick, you get Zach Frazier. Now JPJ went to the Raiders. Great. Good for them. Obviously, we're thinking, all right, if we could get one of the two, we're good. And when Frazier started to fall a little bit, and you're thinking, uh-oh. Is this actually going to happen? Are we really here? We're 3 picks away. Holy shit, we're 2 picks away. Oh, my God. I forget who was in front of us. Please just take someone that's not him. I know we're good. He was there. They actually took him. I was happy as hell.
Yeah, because, just to let him fall. Imagine someone like trading up if they needed one, or you never know what happens in the draft. But we need a center because there was no other option in my eyes. There was no one else.
He's a mauler. He's a brawler. God, I love this pick.
It's great. It's great pick.
Then you get to the 84th pick.
Oh, man. You love this school.
You know what's funny is I got to let me see if I can find, because we got Roman Wilson. And the first person.
Oh, who was the first person, Jeff?
The first person I don't think I texted him. I don't think I got a chance to. But the first person I thought of was our good old boy Herb. Sure. He was happy about it. And you know what? Listen, I was happy with this pick because Roman Wilson is that guy. Roman Wilson's a hell of a receiver, and you lost Deontay Johnson. You knew you needed a receiver at some point. And that's exactly what they got, because with them losing Deontay Johnson, their wide receiver room right now is looking a little bare in the cupboard. So outside of George Pickens, so you needed someone that could be an immediate impact. Roman Wilson's that guy. We trust this organization with receivers. Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and do that.
I was at a bar when this pick was happening. We were me and my friend, I'll shout him out, Jacob, both Steeler fans, thinking, could they go linebacker here or they could go wide receiver here? And then they went the receiver. I was like, it could be Javon Baker, could be Roman Wilson. They went with Roman Wilson. We were like, oh, cool. And I told him, would it be cool if if Peyton Wilson was there at the end of the 3rd round? Oh, Lord and behold, he's there at the end of the 3rd round.
We have officially become the Pittsburgh Wilsons.
The Pittsburgh Wilsons.
For 1 year, we should have a sponsorship with Wilson Footballs. I know that's not actually. I'm very dumb. Isn't Wilson already am I stupid here?
I think it's okay, Jeff. I think they are the footballs for the NFL. I think.
Okay, yes, I was correct. So there you go. So you have a Wilson football to a Wilson quarterback. Yeah. Who could throw? Here's how training camp's going to go. Mm-hmm. Wilson gets a Wilson football, drops back, tries to throw to Roman Wilson. Oh, interception by Peyton Wilson.
That'd be awesome.
But yeah, you get 2 Wilsons in the 3rd round. So the 3rd round was brought to you by Wilson. And listen, people with so the amount of TikToks that I've seen, now granted, I get it, it's TikTok. Yep. So you get these influencers, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it was cool to see that every time that I saw their favorite steals of this draft, this pick was almost unanimously on every single video.
Oh, yeah.
He is the embodied. So we turned Kenny Pickett into Peyton Wilson.
I'm not mad about that.
We could have got a bag of Fritos and I would have been happy. Instead, we actually got a player. And so now you have a linebacking core of Patrick Queen, Landon Roberts, Peyton Wilson. Let's not forget about Cole Holcomb either.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I had this was a conversation that I could pull up here that I had again earlier about the linebacking core, because we were talking about linebackers and someone said that they wanted Cole Holcomb gone out of here. And I was like, I don't know if I would want that, because I said, listen, last year Cole Holcomb and Landon Roberts were a good duo, with one being good in coverage, one good being against the run. That works out well against each other. And I said I still wouldn't have minded keeping him, because look at what happened to us last year. That in the span of 2 weeks got shredded.
Yep.
So and we all know how important that position is to this team. That's why you went out and spent the money that you spent on Patrick Queen. So you have Patrick Queen. He's going to be the guy that's out there almost every trip. Then you could have a rotation of a Landon Roberts. And remember, he's on his last year of his deal. Peyton Wilson, we'll see how much playing time he's going to get starting out. And then Cole Holcomb, he's recovering from injury, but he's someone that if you get into a situation where you need some coverage out there, he could go out there and cover a little bit. Yep. So I hope that they bring him back.
I hope so too.
Or that they keep it. What I mean, I say they bring him back. He's already here.
Keep him on the roster.
And then someone said that Mark Robinson is the weakest link. And then I commented right after. I said Mark Robinson is the Quavo of the locker room. If you know, you know. Do you understand that reference?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know, because there are a lot of people that didn't know that reference.
Jeez. Do you want to explain it to the people that might know or not know?
Shout out Chris Breezy.
There you go.
Shout out Chris. Just look up weakest link, Chris Breezy. That's all I got to say.
Yep, there you go.
That's all I'm saying. If you know, you know.
Oh, man.
But yeah. And then we talked about a possible James Daniels replacement. We'll see. He's a 4th rounder. So, we'll have to see how that goes. But Mason McCormick, guard from South Dakota State. And that hype video.
Oh, yeah.
That had me wanting to run through a damn wall. Who would have thought that a hype video from someone from South Dakota State would have had me wanting to run through a wall? I haven't ran in 7 months, and that has me wanting to start running again. Good. Hey, you know what? Hey, in the first 120 picks, we took 3 fatties.
They need it.
We took 3 fatties.
They need it.
As a fellow fatty.
Yep.
That made me happy.
Me too.
You're not nowhere near as fat as me, so.
Yeah, no, I'm still.
You're a part of the itty bitty fatty club.
Okay, alrighty. But no, it's a great pick. I didn't know what they were going to do with this pick. I thought a corner was going to be at this position, to be honest, at the time. But I wasn't mad with another O lineman. Yeah,
if there was one thing that Steeler fans knocked on this was us not getting a corner until the 195th pick.
Yep.
Which, hey, let's not forget, Ryan Watts is 6'3", 6'3", 208.
Yep.
Who's to say he came from originally DBU, by the way.
Yeah, I guess.
Ohio State.
I guess.
Then he went to Texas.
Yep.
So, we'll see.
We'll see. That's good.
And then let's not forget about Logan Lee, the defensive tackle from Iowa. And hey, let's not forget Cameron Hayward. He's on his final year of his deal.
Man,
we'll see what happens. I mean, do we all love him? Yeah. And we'll see how he plays this year, see if he can stay healthy. And then Larry Ogunjobi, he'll be.
Yep.
I think he's on year 2 of a 3-year deal.
Yes.
So, I mean, hey, you can't have too many defensive linemen.
Nope.
And when you're getting to the 6th round, why not?
Why not?
So there is your 2024 NFL draft class, which if we went off of people of draft Super Bowls, we are back-to-back champions.
Yep.
So
Let's
shall
hope it pans out. All right, give me the schedule. I'm ready.
Yeah, we don't have that yet.
I need that next, please.
I'll say we do not have that yet. One thing that seems to have happened today, it didn't get confirmed by Adam Schefter yet, but it seems like it's pretty close to happening, or if it already has happened, was Tyler Boyd going to Tennessee. Now, Tyler Boyd, I want to say it was a 2-year, $15 million deal or something, which would average out to about $7.5 a year. And I saw Steeler fans, happy saying, "Oh, thank God that we didn't pay him." So this was end quote. If this is true, thank goodness we not forcing it. I'm not paying him. This. We were foolish for paying A-Rob $10 to $11 million. I said I would have easily paid $7.5 million for Tyler Boyd. Someone then said I agree too, and then this gentleman ended up falling into the typical trap that I see so many people run into. They say, why would we pay for a wide receiver $8 million who only had 677 yards the previous year? Again, I wonder why, when you have T. Higgins, who's going to be a wide receiver somewhere here very soon. He's a wide receiver 1 on 95% of teams. You have Jamar Chase, who's going to end up getting the bag of bags, who is someone who is one of the best receivers in all of the NFL. Oh, I'm sorry. I wonder why.
$7.5 million for Tyler Boyd. That's the easiest yes of my life. Do you see okay? Listen, I'm glad we upgrade our receiver room, but do you think it's that much better?
That much better right now? No,
no, exactly, because Tyler Boyd would be wide receiver number 2.
Thank you.
Over Roman Wilson. I understand Roman. We just drafted Roman Wilson. He can play both on the outside or in the slot, but he's not a consistent number 2. He's gonna be in the slot.
And listen, now, was there a reason why talks possibly stopped? Was, did...
It's not confirmed yet, so, right? I don't know, Tyler Boyd did sign.
Who's to say that it's fully happened yet? Who's also to say that the reason why Omar Khan may, if talks did stop with them, was because, hey, there was possible push into one of the bigger trades. We don't know yet. Let's not forget, Omar Khan is the guy that he has patience.
He's cooking something that we all don't know about. I hope
Justin Jefferson.
I really hope we get a receiver somehow. I know that we need, not to be mean, George Pickens is number 1. You got a bunch of number 3s still. A bunch of number 3s.
And listen, George Pickens is someone that, while he's very good at the deep ball, you need someone that's going to be able to work in the intermediate game. You get Tyler Boyd, he can do that.
Yep.
Go along with Roman Wilson, he can do that.
That will be a manageable receiving core, pretty much.
Now, obviously, we will keep our hopes up until
something happens.
Until Ayuk possibly, until we figure out, we're going to all keep our hopes up. We are hoping that we all go to sleep, wake up, holy shit, we got Brandon Ayuk. That's all what we hope for. Or that we are in a place where we can actually react.
And be prepared to pay for him.
And
if that happens,
the dream time for a Ayuk to Steelers trade to happen would be like right now.
Oh.
We're just sitting here talking. I have Twitter notifications. It's like, oh my God, it actually fucking happened. Like, that would be incredible. I had that one time in my years of doing podcasting / radio, had that one time happen to me. And that was when Russell Westbrook got traded to, I want to say, the Rockets.
Damn, you made me check Twitter just in case, just to see if something happened.
Well, no, I have it up here, so you're good. The last thing that we've gotten from those people was from Ari Miroff talking about Keon Coleman and how freaking hilarious this is.
So, well, like I said, I hope we get another receiver somehow. That's my one thing I want. A wide receiver 2. And Tyler Boyd's still there. If we can get him, great. If not, maybe go trade for one that everyone's been talking about. Or maybe it's just a dream, a hoax, a lie. And they're going to run it with a lot of wide receiver 3s, and I will be a little bit scared. Personally.
We'll see. One last thing that I want to get into before we get out of here. Something that happened earlier today, and I mentioned this earlier. So the Steelers officially had declined the 5th-year option on Najee Harris. And when I texted you that, you were shocked.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I was shocked. And I tweeted this out earlier in the day. What I tweeted out earlier in the day was I said Steelers should absolutely pick up the 5th-year option on Najee Harris. It was for less than $7 million, and someone had commented saying, "I believe it's less than $7 million for running backs." Right? Seems like a no-brainer at that cost, especially with the revamped offensive line. And I agree with that 1,000,000%. I thought, is $7 million a little expensive for a running back? Yeah, sure, but let's not forget either that Jaylen Warren, he's not on. Typically, we think of 4-year contracts for, he's only on a 3-year deal, so he's on his last year of his contract. So, unless they're working on a possible extension for him, which I'm not sure if I could fully see that being the case.
For both of them, or just one of them?
For Najee, for example, because Najee, I was a little shocked to see them not pick that up. Because if I am Pittsburgh, I would have picked it up.
Yep.
Say, hey, we know that he has a lot of tread on his tires already. Yep. And why not run it till the wheels fall off?
Yep.
You could do kind of in a way what you did with Le'Veon Bell, but cheaper.
It's just a little bit shocking. I wasn't excited. I thought, easiest, yes, yes, 5th-year option, pick it up. It's just, are they gonna now? Is a free agent going to be next year? Now, what if are we going to get an extension done before the season starts? Because what if he says he pops off this year, and you don't, extend him? He's going to be asking for a lot more money.
I mean, in 3 years, he has close to 1,000 touches.
Yeah.
He has a lot of tread on them tires already.
Yeah, but still.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you don't want to extend him, just get the 5th-year option, use the shit out of him, and
free agent.
And then he can become free agent, and that's that. I think is one of the very few things where right now I'm questioning a little bit of what Omar Khan is doing. I haven't questioned a whole lot. That's one of the very, very few. Now, again, let Khan cook. We'll see what happens. But let's not forget too, he's had 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons. He's had his best year of his career in terms of yards per carry. Finally reached 4. But let's not forget too that he had a very busted offensive line.
Yep. He did. Definitely did. We'll see what happens. I'm just very curious what they're going to do with the running back. Both of them now. Jaylen Warren going to be a free agent next year as well. I don't know if you saw the free agent list. Shout out to I think Nick Farbaugh. I saw on Twitter he had like the free agents for next year for the Steelers. I was looking at it because I like to repost it. Where is it? Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Jaylen Warren, Pat Freiermuth, James Daniels. Some big names there. I don't know what they're going to do with them. But because now you got Pat being a free agent too. Are you going to bring him back? I don't know. It's a lot of question marks.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with and with Jaylen Warren. He is a restricted free agent, so they could match whoever they wanted, or match whatever offer they get. So I'm just, and like you mentioned, 6 guys on offense next year.
Yep.
Now we'll see what happens with the quarterback position. Almost guarantee you that one of them will be gone.
Yep.
And possibly both. You lose both your running backs. Pat Freiermuth, I think not a lot of us are fully going to be missing a whole lot.
No, there'll be some fans, but unless he takes a very cheap deal.
And who's to say? I mean, we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
And then James Daniels.
That's another question mark.
Thought I heard some car keys for a half a sec, or was that you?
No. Oh, that's my dog.
Oh, okay. That's what it was. I'm sitting here. I'm like, did someone breaking into my house? Or like, what the hell is going on here?
No, she's just sitting right next to me. But,
so it's like Herb's cat and your dog to do the takeover.
But we'll see what happens. It's just I'm very curious to see. And then I'll go back to a little bit on the receiver room. A little bit. Everyone's saying a lot of now names coming out of nowhere. Now all of a sudden DK Metcalf is on the list now. What's going on? There's a lot of things going on. They're saying post June 1st, maybe be available for trade, which I don't know if I'll see that happening, but Steelers need another receiver, in my opinion. I hope they get someone before the season starts.
Justin Jefferson, you are a Steeler.
It's not going to happen.
I know. I just like to get people riled up.
I know you do. Hey, maybe, let's go ask the Saints. Let's ask for Chris Olave. See how your face got excited. Don't quote me on that. Chris Olave trade rumors now. All right, it just started.
I'm gonna put this on Twitter. The Steelers are interested in Chris Olave per Boss Sanchez 98.
Oh my god, you're terrible. But we'll see what happens. I don't know. It's exciting. It's a lot of, great draft. Another draft by Omar Khan. We just see what they're gonna do before camp starts now, and we wait for schedule release. That's the only thing we're excited for right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting, and hopefully next week we're doing a live episode at 8:00 with the draft schedule or with the schedule release.
Yep.
Let's hope. Although I would be okay with postponing that a tiny bit too when we gather up some more money.
Oh my goodness! Oh my gosh! Once it comes out, for everyone that likes to travel to NFL games, you just do it right away.
Yep.
Best advice to you, because it will get expensive as it gets closer.
Yep, that is very true. But I do want to say, I think that's about it for this episode. Had a lot that we had to get off our chest here. And I do want to say thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you guys did enjoy. And if you guys did, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment. And until then, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe. By this time next week, either me or Jarryd will be having lots of bragging rights. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be after tomorrow.
Oh, well, I don't think so. I think Game 7.
Oh, God. I hate Game 7s.
Everyone hates Game 7.
I have a love-hate relationship with Game 7s.
And guess what? It'll be Sunday. Game 7. 1 day to travel, and then Game 7 at 1 o'clock.
You said you flying up for Game 7?
No.
You know why? You know why, ladies and gentlemen? That was a trap. It was a trap because he knows damn well that he ain't flying up because he knows what would happen. He knows that ass is getting whooped. He knows that ass is getting eliminated. So he knows what's up. He's like, yeah, I'll just save my money and I'll just watch the ass whooping from home.
It's gonna be a close game. I think these next 2 games.
Ass whooping.
Kirby just wants to start an argument. That's all he wants. He ain't getting it from me right now. No way. I'm too tired right now.
Oh man! But until then, again, you guys have a great weekend. Stay safe. Go Steelers. Go Buckeyes. Fuck the Magic. By the way, it's almost getting to the point now where it's starting to be what the fuck Pirates because they have just been. Went to a Pirates game on Wednesday and didn't realize it was Dollar Dog Night.
Wow.
So I had to destroy some glizzies.
Yep.
And
aren't they on a losing streak right now? Is it bad? I was like 13, 14 games.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like that, but I know
Oh,
they have not scored many runs at all.
they're not scored. Okay.
I know they have not scored many runs at all. Let's say it looks like I want to say they got they got swept by the Lonely A's.
Their last win.
Okay, their last one was on Saturday.
That last Saturday. Okay, so a week. Ooh, yeah, it's not good right now.
But they have scored a solid 0 runs, 2 runs, 1 run, 2 runs. Hey, 4 runs. 0, 5, 2, 2, 4, 1, 2,
Jeez.
1, 1, 3. Hey, so the last time they've scored more than like 5 runs was April 14th.
Wow. Not good.
Couldn't be my team though.
Okay.
Let's real quick before we go. We have to do this right now.
Well, of course. We're in second place right now. If you remember.
Who is only a half game back for the second or for the best record in baseball?
Oh my God! Here we go.
Oh man!
You're just enjoying your first part of the season, just like the
Who's number 1 in the American League? Oh wait, is that Oh yeah.
It's okay. Enjoy your moment. Enjoy your moment. I'm glad you're enjoying the first part of the season.
It's okay because it's going to continue on.
Okay, all right.
We're winning the World Series.
All righty, sure, definitely.
We're winning the World Series this year. Let's go.
Alrighty.
All right. But until then, have a great weekend. Stay safe. Goodbye. Peace out. And fuck the Magic.